The main issues that the Central Committee discussed, of course, concern the 2024 elections and the preparations that are. We reviewed the preparations that are taking place in various states of our country, in the party's participation in the election. That apart, the Central Committee is of the opinion that the manner in which the temple at Ayodhya was inaugurated, this is actually sounding the death knell of secularism as defined by the Constitution of India and the verdicts of the Supreme Court. I mean, this was an event in which the entire state machinery, government machinery was present. The Prime Minister doing the inauguration, UP Chief Minister, the UP Governor, and then you had the merging of the RSS with the Government of India, and the messages, audio messages that came from the President and the Vice President of India, all this signify that this was a state function, a state-sponsored function, that directly violates the Constitution provisions and the Supreme Court verdicts, which say that state shall not profess or propagate any one particular religion. And it's precisely that has happened here. And the fact that the RSS chief was also present, and the fact that during the run-up to this event, there have been communal clashes in at least various parts of the country. This entire event was mainly for securing political and electoral gain, and the gross misuse of the government machinery. Schools were declared closed that day. Every single government office, central government office, was asked to join the consecration, and all central government offices were closed till 2:30 in the afternoon all over the country. Likewise, you had giant screens projecting this entire event in government properties, and people were mobilized to come and watch this. And this is something as a political game which has now been revealed, because the plan is that every day people from different states and all the parliamentary constituencies, they will be mobilized and taken to Ayodhya, and this will continue till the end of March. April, the elections are scheduled. So the whole thing is a build-up for a communal polarization of the Hindutva vote. Now this is the entire game plan, which is completely in violation of the Indian Constitution. Thirdly, the way this event took place, this is a signal that the Freedom of Places of Worship Act 1991, that stipulated legally, except for Ayodhya, no other religious place status can be changed from what it was on the 15th of August 1947. Now this is going to be buried, that is clear, with Kashi and Mathura already being raised, and with judicial connivance, the process in Mathura, that has also been sanctioned by the judiciary. Now it's unlikely to stop just at Kashi and Mathura. In every single state, the BJP is now saying they would want to liberate this shrine or the other shrine, and particularly the multi-religious Sufi shrines are being targeted, and in Karnataka particularly. So this is going to be a permanent source of fratricide in our country that the RSS and BJP are going to foment. Now these are very serious implications for the country and its character as a secular democratic republic. We have stated very clearly when we first regretted the invitations given to us with thanks to the organizers. They personally come to invite me as the General Secretary to come to Ayodhya. So, out of courtesy, I offered them tea or coffee. They said no. So I took the invitation card, and then they didn't ask for a response. I didn't respond. But we finally responded, saying that as far as CPM is concerned, we respect religion. We have the highest regard for every individual who make their choices on which faith to follow. That is a right that the CPIM will protect, safeguard. At the same time, the CPIM will firmly continue to oppose the utilization of people's religious sentiments for political purposes, which is what Ayodhya is doing. And this merging of religion with the state is something that is not acceptable. Not only is it not acceptable, that destroys the very foundation of the secular democratic Republic of India as ordained by the Constitution. So we think this is a serious battle, and this battle will now find expression in the electoral battles. Which is the idea for the RSS BJP. And in this fight, electoral fight, this contest, CPM will frontally take up this position of denouncing the exploitation of people's religious sentiments and misusing them for the political and electoral gains of the RSS BJP. Secondly, the last two rounds of assembly elections have shown that among the major states, the BJP has won in this round in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. Congress has won in this round and the earlier rounds in Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, and Telangana. So the question is that there is going to be a keen contest depending on the states and the influence that these parties will have. So in this situation, we have clearly come to the conclusion that BJP's victories are centrally focused on the consolidation of the Hindutva vote. And this has to be challenged frontally by strictly upholding secularism as the separation of religion from politics and state. Any effort to try and compete with Hindutva communal secularism through adopting a pale communal strategy, which is what happened in Madhya Pradesh particularly and in Chhattisgarh, where the Congress leaders were actually competing with the RSS BJP. Now, pale saffron and pale Hindutva are no match for the real saffron and real Hindutva. The more you propagate the paleness, more the people will get influenced to the core Hindutva communal agenda. And this has been the mainstay for BJP's victories in the northern states, the Hindi-speaking states. So, for the lesson to be learned by all secular parties is that this challenge has to be confronted frontally upholding the principles of secularism. Now, the most interesting feature from this development is that despite the Ayodhya temple inauguration, despite the fact that in the last round of elections they won in the three states in Hindi-speaking areas but lost Telangana, the separation, despite the victories in these states, the BJP seems to be still unsure of the electoral prospects in 2024. The propaganda machine now keeps on saying that they'll win more than 400, etc., seats and all this. But this insecurity about what will be the outcome of the 2024 election is leading the BJP and this Modi government to be more brazen in assaulting the opposition parties in various states. The ED and money power. This is the venal cocktail that the BJP has produced through these years for electoral gains. And through this ED money power combination, they are disrupting the ruling parties in many states, dividing them, and thereby playing an extremely anti-democratic role, particularly in states where the BJP was defeated in the assembly elections. The effort is through defections to try and grab or usurp power. They had started doing this in order to gain more parliament seats in Karnataka, tying up with the Janata Dal secular. Then in Maharashtra, using the ED and money power to divide both the NCP and Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena. Now, 2 days ago, it happened in Bihar with Mr. Nitish Kumar changing sides, flip-flop. This is the fifth time he's done this, and he holds the record in Indian politics of being a chief minister being sworn in for the 9th time. I mean, without serving 9 terms. It's very obvious that morning he resigns, evening he's sworn in. Now, they've vanished in Bihar, and now they're targeting Jharkhand. The way the ED is pounding upon the Jharkhand CM, and the fact that he he was not traceable by the ED yesterday in Delhi, is very clear that the ED is grossly misused as the political arm of the BJP and Modi government. Now, this recourse to dividing up the other parties, buying up the MLAs, etc., the worst form of destroying democracy, is the basic patented method of functioning of the BJP. And that clearly shows they are on a shaky ground. All the extra confidence of their propaganda machine notwithstanding, they think that in order to retain the government at the center in 2024, they will have to break up the regional ruling parties, and that is why they are constantly targeting them. So it is not as though the BJP it's a given fact that Modi is going to return and the BJP is going to win. They themselves are not sure. And this is what we have to realize, that they are using every instrument to sharpen polarization. Now, for nearly 5 years after the Citizenship Amendment Act was adopted, legislated, they had not, maybe they have framed the rules, but they have never adopted them or announced them. Now they are saying they'll do it in a week. Why? Just on the eve of election, using the CAA for polarization, particularly in eastern India, which is where a lot of this refugees from across the border had come. Many had been legalized. Now all those issues will be reopened to create communal tension and communal strife, and they hope to benefit from it. So given all these Machiavellian machinations that they undertake, the India bloc, the CPM believes, and we will play our role in strengthening this India bloc despite the desertion of Nitish Kumar, and to firmly take up this issue of confronting the Hindutva challenge by firmly adhering to secularism as defined in the Constitution and as separate from politics and the government. For the India bloc, we are saying that the seat adjustment processes, which we all agreed can be done only at the state level, those processes have already started. In many states, they have reached their final positions. So within the next 2 weeks, the seat adjustments among the India partners is likely to be finalized. And on that basis, all these parties together will go to the people explaining to them what are the dangers, what are the implications of this election, and it is absolutely imperative that the BJP must be kept out of controlling the government or the state power, the state machine. So that is the way in which we will contribute to strengthen the India bloc. Then the CPI, the Central Committee, uh, congratulated the people of Kerala for responding in a magnificent manner to this unprecedented initiative. It is unique that we have not heard in any other state that the entire government, that is the Chief Minister along with all the entire cabinet, actually goes to the people. Goes to the people is not people coming to the government with their grievances, but the government going to the people. And this is a unique method in India that Kerala, among the many unique things it did in politics earlier of initiating a change in politics, this is a unique method. And the way people responded, we thought was excellent because it indicates the high degree of people's participation. And that is something that the Central Committee appreciated and congratulated the people of Kerala. The Central Committee also felt that the present governor of Kerala is unfit for his post. Now he has been overstepping the boundaries of constantly and regular political attacks against the government targeting the Chief Minister. Governor is a constitutional office. If it has anything to opine about, it is not by going to the streets or going to the media, but it is conveying this to the Honorable President of India, who is the one who appointed the governor. But here a confrontationist attack. And the last thing, when we came to attend the Central Committee meeting, when I landed in the Thiruvananthapuram airport, I was coming from Tamil Nadu, so from Chennai. The first thing your colleagues in the media asked me at the airport is, what do you have to say? The governor is sitting on the road. I was about to ask whether the Raj Bhavan was being renovated, so I had to try to find some place to stay somewhere. So he said, no, the governor is protesting against the students' protest. Well, everybody has the right to protest, but that's the office of the governor. And then using that, he now manages to secure, asks for it, and gets the central government's protection of the CRPF, and gets for himself accorded the highest security cover possible in the country today. Now, these sort of things are totally unbecoming of him. We've seen earlier the way he sat on the bills when the Supreme Court rapped him on his knuckles. Instead of approving those bills, he forwards them to the President of India. That means they kept in cold storage now. This sort of things is smack of the fact that they are functioning as an extension of the central government and the politics of the central government, BJP, RSS. Now, this is something not acceptable, and therefore, we think that he is unfit for the post. And the Congress party in this entire, situation has been adopting a very negative and an anti-democratic approach to the LDF government and making baseless charges against the Chief Minister. Now, the Congress party remains silent on the assaults mounted by the Modi government against the state government and the state of Kerala. Even for the dharna being organized by the LDF government, the government of Kerala is organizing this dharna against the treatment meted out to Kerala government by the central government. All the MLAs were invited, all the political parties, but the Congress declines to join. The same charge that the states are being discriminated against Federalism is being destroyed by the Modi government. The Congress also levies in other states. They raises. But here in Kerala, the vituperative manner in which it targets the CPIM is not in the interest of safeguarding the secular democratic constitutional republic of India. This assault on the states' rights will be championed by the CPIM, and the CPIM has called upon all its state units to hold protest actions in their states on the manner in which the central government is treating Kerala and the Kerala state government and the manner in which federalism is being assaulted today, and to protect the Indian constitution and the federal structure. Finally, the central government, the central committee congratulated the Kerala youth who executed a huge plan of a human chain from the northern tip to the southern tip of Kerala, 35 lakh youth participating, condemning the discriminatory attitude of centre to the Kerala state, demanding jobs and removal of ban on recruitment, etc. This was a very historical thing, and the Central Committee congratulated them. Likewise, the Central Committee congratulated also West Bengal, which saw a huge youth yatra being taken from north to south of Bengal, which culminated in an unprecedented rally at the historic Brigade Parade grounds in Calcutta. Now, the youth in Bengal are rising against corruption, against the gross misrule, and against the politics of terror that the Trinamool Congress is indulging in, while the prime target of the CPIM would be to ensure that BJP is defeated and they are removed from holding the government of state power. In Bengal, the target is also the Trinamool Congress, whose reign of terror and murder of democracy in Bengal is actually destroying the very constitutional values which we want to protect, and why we are protesting against the manner in which the Modi government is proceeding. Finally, the Central Committee decided that apart from organizing solidarity actions in other states on February 8, the day of the LDF Dharna in Delhi, we will express our solidarity with the joint call given by the Samyukt Kisan Morcha and the Confederation of Central Trade Unions on 16th of February for a nationwide protest actions on their demands and the betrayal of the Prime Minister in not implementing what he himself promised when he withdrew the agri laws of the legally guaranteed MSP for all crops and all farmers in the country. On these issues, so CPIM will express its solidarity. Finally, on the EVMs, the CPIM recognizes there is widespread discontent among the people on how the EVMs are functioning. So we have demanded that the sequence of placing these machines in the polling booth must change. Today, what is it? You have the voting unit where you and I vote. Then that vote goes to the VVPAT where you and I see. And that vote is then transferred to the control unit. So we know from the voters unit to the VVPAT what has been transmitted. But we don't know from the VVPAT to the control unit what is being transmitted. So we said change the order. Let it be the voter unit, then the control unit, and then the VVPAT. Then you are confirmed that your vote has been correctly registered in the control unit. Do this, and along with this, 50% of the VVPAT must be tallied with what the machine is showing. If there is a discrepancy, there will either have to be a repoll or a recount, depending on the concrete incident. But in this way, people's confidence has to be generated that this electoral process is free and fair, and there is a level playing field for all the parties and contestants. So we would raise these demands all across the country, and we call upon the Election Commission to do the needful to restore people's confidence in the EVMs and the election process.